Welcome to Catholic Life. As we spotlight ordinary people with extraordinary faith, I am Dina Dow, your host. We are going to talk this half hour about Kolbe Prison Ministries. Fairly new to the diocese, but not too new to the country. With us to share their story is Val Browning and Lynette Arlati. Yes. I want to say it right. Who represent Kolbe Prison Ministries that serve in our diocese too. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're both here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being with us.
I know. Our
pleasure.
This is such a great ministry. I'm super excited. We're going to just go straight into it. But before that, we really need to know about you, because people are curious as to who's with us. So tell us a little bit about your life, where you worship. We'll start with Lynette.
Sure. So I'm originally from California. And I worship at St. George here in Baton Rouge, and I've been in Baton Rouge since 2011.
Oh, good.
So that's me. Do you want me to go into my history with Kolbe, or
not yet? Yeah,
not yet.
Okay. Yeah, we got to squeeze Val in here. Yeah.
Okay. Val Browning, parishioner at Most Blessed Sacrament.
Mm-hmm.
Been there for almost 29 years now. Went through RCIA in 2003, I believe.
Did you? Yeah.
And
beautiful.
Then, been rocking since.
That's great. Yeah, that's exciting. That's great that you're a convert too, right? Coming to the fullness of the faith, especially with the saints. So we'll talk a little bit about St. Maximilian Kolbe in just a minute. But talk about what's your initial role for Kolbe Prison Ministry. What's your role?
So my role is, I guess I'm the vice president of the Baton Rouge core team. And so I primarily help to organize retreats, organize fellowship meetings, things of that nature. We hosted a national conference here in Baton Rouge, which we were super excited in July. We have fundraisers. We're going to start this month. We're going to start fundraising for hygiene bags that we distribute in December to all the incarcerated that we work with. And so that's part of my role, but probably my primary role is to really fellowship and walk alongside my sisters at LCIW, so Louisiana Correctional Institute for Women. I work with the women there, and we get to pray together, we get to fellowship together. There are times that, we go in and we're just listening. Mm-hmm. There are times that we go in and we're teaching something. But most importantly, we just get to go in and show the love of Christ.
Yeah, and walk with them.
Yeah.
What about you, Val?
Well, I'm going to interject something for Lynette. Her biggest role is to keep me in check.
That's my most difficult job.
We always need somebody to keep us accountable.
I am the president of the Baton Rouge core team, but I'm also on the national board of directors.
Oh, really? Wow. So. How long have you served on those roles?
Core team president since the start. In January 1, I started a 3-year term on the board of directors.
That's amazing. We're going to talk about in just a minute. Generally speaking, so did y'all both serve in prison ministry before you began intensely with Kolbe Prison?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Wow. Okay.
And that's very common, wouldn't you say? Yeah. With our members, most have not had prison ministry experience.
Yeah. Really?
In May of 2023, I went to Hunt Correctional on a Friday evening or Friday afternoon for it's called the Frederick Douglass Program for Justice.
Yes. Yeah.
I did a visit there. I had a vision of what prison life and prisoners were. I could not have been more wrong. I left there, and a very good friend of mine through the Louisiana Pro Project had invited me. So he and I are walking out, and I looked at him, and I was like, man, this would be an awesome place for an Acts retreat.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a Friday. So that Sunday, I'm sitting on the couch. I pull up the iPad, and I type in Catholic Prison Retreat. And Kolbe Prison Ministries come up.
Really?
So I read about it, and I sent them an email. That following Wednesday, I get a phone call from Danny Reyes out of Lake Charles, who's on the board of directors, saying, hey, we got your email, and, we've been trying to get into Baton Rouge. We just haven't had somebody to spearhead this yet. And so that was May of 23. And May of 24, we hosted our first men's retreat here at Hunt. So that's kind of how it kicked off.
Started, yeah. So it is in its infancy, but powerfully it's matured quickly. Before we go into the actual ministry itself, let's talk about St. Maximilian Kolbe, his life, his mission, his incarceration, his martyrdom, right? Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, St. Maximilian Kolbe is absolutely amazing. There's so much to him, and I guess I would encourage everybody to get to know him better. I think the thing he's most well known for is his time at Auschwitz, but he was a Catholic priest, Franciscan from Poland, and he lived during World War II times, and he established monasteries. He spread the gospel through magazines, things of that nature.
At that time, he was the bishop baron at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had
a
a
great way to
million
describe him.
subscriptions to his magazine.
Yeah.
Between Europe and Japan, because he had printing presses in both locations, and it was just astounding what he did.
Yeah, because he developed those, and but through also the intercession of the Blessed Mother, because he has such a deep devotion.
Well,
to the Blessed
when he was a
Mother.
kid, he got in trouble.
Yes.
He lived across the street from the
yeah.
church, and his mom said, you need to go pray about this. So he went, and in front of the altar, he's kneeling down and praying, and the Holy Mother appears, and she has two crowns, a white one and a red one. The white one for purity, the red one for martyrdom. And said, which one would you choose? And he says, I choose them both.
Yeah.
And that set his road, his path. So he studied in Rome, became a Franciscan, ended up back in Poland, and started that. And then he went to Nagasaki in Japan and built a monastery, started a printing press there. He got the government to build a railroad to the monastery there in Poland, so he could get his magazines out
and distribute,
freight, and different things. So he was really, ahead of his time in that
fearless,
aspect.
Fearless, courageous.
But because of, his media empire and his communications and what he was saying, the Nazis weren't very happy with him. So he ended up getting arrested. And
that radical love to outspokenness, of speaking truth in times of untruth and of persecution. Yeah, and I think they arrested him. At his place of where he was publishing.
Yep, at the monastery.
Took him to Auschwitz. Yeah. And then tell us what happened at Auschwitz, that moment of where it began his martyrdom.
They had a policy when someone escaped, the commandant would take 10 prisoners, just pick 10 random prisoners and put them in a starvation chamber. And it was either, they die or the prisoner gets found. Well, the commandant picked one man, and he just fell to his knees and started sobbing and pleading with him, no, I have a wife and kids, please, please. And St. Kolbe stepped out and said, I'll take his place. And the commandant was like, what? Who are you? And he says, I'm a Catholic priest. He says, what does it matter? And he put him in. And so they ended up in the starvation chamber. And after 2 weeks, he was still alive, and the commandant ordered him executed. So he went and injected him with carbolic acid to kill him.
And during that time, he ministered to the other prisoners that were in that starvation bunker too, as well, which, of course, beautifully is portrayed in a new movie that just came out called Triumph of the Heart.
Correct.
So it's and there's a lot of documentaries too on EWTN and other satellites that people can get to know him.
Fox Nation did one that's
it's
very
amazing.
well done about
I
it.
have a book too, a little booklet that he published called Loving the Will or Willing the Love. And I have that on my bedside. So I meditate with him every day.
Anybody's really interested in him should really look into the militia of the Immaculata that is still present today that he started. And,
and the men of the Immaculata here in the Diocese of Baton Rouge kind of modeled themselves after him too.
Absolutely.
So you'll definitely learn more and get to know St. Maximilian Kolbe. Right, so on those foundations, right, how did Kolbe Prison Ministries begin? Like where, who, do you know the history of this?
They started in San Antonio in early 2000s, so mid-2000s, some men there who were doing prison ministry had went through Acts. And they said, we'd like to adopt this. So it was initially called Prison Acts.
Okay.
Acts Missions said, y'all are not following the script. You can't, you got to follow, you got to follow the script.
Yeah.
And some parts of that you can't do in a prison.
That's right.
And so they sat down and with the local leadership there at the Archdiocese of San Antonio and went over some things, and through, intercession of St. Kolbe, they came up with this idea, and so they switched the name in 2011, and in 2010 and 2011 they were incorporated as
Wow.
Kolbe Prison Ministries.
And where are the ministries located? What states? I know Texas, Louisiana.
Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Oklahoma, and Kansas.
Wonderful.
We are currently looking at going to the Diocese of Jackson, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, Pueblo, Colorado.
Yeah. How many those that are incarcerated do you believe have experienced Kolbe Prison Ministry retreats?
Oh man,
I know.
A lot.
It's a big number.
It'd be a lot. It's
Yeah.
a big number because there's so many facilities in Texas they've done them at. We're only doing 4 facilities here in Louisiana right now.
And it started in Lake Charles.
In 2018, it moved from Beaumont into Lake Charles because they had some guys in Lake Charles that would go to Beaumont and serve.
Yeah.
And so they got them to come to Lake Charles, and it's in Kinder at Allen Correctional where they do the retreats there. And then we brought it here in 2024. A bunch of guys from Lake Charles came over and helped us get it going.
So how many institutions in Louisiana are being served by Kolbe Ministries?
You've got 3-4 DOC facilities. Then there's a kind of a halfway house in Kinder called Phelps that they serve as well.
Yeah.
So in the Diocese of Baton Rouge, we're in Angola, Hunt, and LCIW, and hopefully this year we'll get into Dixon.
And how many volunteers do you have serving the ministry here? How many people are on the team?
We have, so on the women's side, we have 65 very active members.
65?
And
Wow.
in terms of the whole area, we have over 300 now.
Yeah, it's around 350 is our distribution list right now of people who've asked to be, receive information.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, as much as we can share, we'll talk a little bit about the experience as a volunteer and maybe the fruitfulness of the retreats once experienced by those that are incarcerated. So let's take a break. We'll be right back in just a minute.
We put food back on tables, support local workers, unlock doors, and walk together on the road back. Help Catholic Charities serve your neighbors in need. Join us at wearethere.us.
Welcome back to Catholic Life as we spotlight ordinary people with extraordinary faith. I am Dina Dowd, continuing our conversation with Val Browning and Lynette Arlati, talking about Kolbe Prison Ministries. So in the previous segment, we were talking about statistics and numbers, and you found your information on that. So the question was, how many people, how many retreats?
We've done over 450 retreats in 83 correctional facilities, serving over 21,000 inmates.
That's powerful, powerful. And then on top of that, or the people that actually serve the retreat too. So you've got even volunteers on top of that number that have also experienced.
Well, the bigger piece is after an inmate has gone through the program, he can serve on the inside team.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. So the experience of the retreat, it used to be based on the Acts retreats, right? I guess it's loosely based on Acts. But what is Acts, first of all? Let's just back up a little bit. What does that retreat experience originate from? That also came from San Antonio, right?
It came from San Antonio. The Archbishop in San Antonio wanted to get non-Catholics to go to a retreat. And Crucio was the retreat.
That's right.
And they said no. Crucio would not. So he sat down with some local Catholics there, and they came up with the Acts program.
Okay.
And Acts is about, as the C, it's about community. It's about getting an individual closer to Jesus Christ and getting them involved with their church parish.
Through adoration and community and teaching and sending out and sending forth. So based on that foundation, outpoured Kolbe in another way of pouring into those that are incarcerated. So what is that experience like? Like when does a ministry come to you or institutions say, we want this, or do you go knock on the door?
I think it's more word of mouth when you say it's people now see how having Kolbe within their prison community has changed that community.
Really?
And so people will reach out to us. Val being on the board, they receive requests for Kolbe Prison Ministries in their area all the time. And so then it's a matter of building a team there to really be able to host it properly.
The program itself is set up over, depending on the facility, it can be 3, 4, sometimes it's 2 days. But, just give you an example, the last retreat at Hunt Correctional, we had someone, an employee there say, this is the most positive thing I've ever witnessed here.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And so you form your team that is called to serve the ministry, and then you have, I'm sure, a period of preparation, right?
We spent 6 weeks preparing to get everyone to understand their role and what they're to do. We talked about Acts. Acts is about building community. This is not about building a community. This is about serving the inmates. This is about bringing them agape love and showing them that they're not forgotten. And that is the biggest thing that impacts them. We just recently did our first retreat in Angola. And to hear the comments made from those retreatants, it's heartbreigking. This is a first time in a while somebody looked me in the face and talked to me and just non-judgmental. It wrenches your heart. But one of the best comments I heard was at Hunt, where a guy said, there for a while I forgot I was in prison.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it just gives a whole new light on the corporal works of mercy.
Absolutely.
Of visiting those that are in prison, right? It's not just about showing up, visiting, and leaving, right? It's more of an intimate encounter with Jesus.
You get there and you incorporate love to it, and you bring them love. When that opening session, when they come walking in and we got a gauntlet set up and we're clapping and cheering and hugging them. They come in, they get kind of stiff, like they don't know, and by the end, they're looking for you to hug you by the end of that retreat. But it's, so it's also about catechizing these individuals in that. We have had, at Hunt, 15 retreatants that have now become Catholic.
Really? Those conversions are happening, right?
The head Pentecostal preacher has converted to Catholicism at Hunt.
Wow.
You get over to
he was
Texas,
on the retreat team?
He was on original retreat. Now he's been on the team twice.
Wow.
Over in Hunt, not at Hunt, over in Texas, they've had, stories coming out, the leader of the Muslim at one prison went through the retreat on Sunday. He asked if he could carry the cross up to the altar with the procession, and has now become Catholic. So it's again, our faith offers so much, but it's the truth. And when you show them that, and one guy said, he said, you guys come in here, and I didn't know what to expect, but there's no doubt about it. I've never experienced this much love anywhere else.
Right, because it's pouring out of the mercy of our Lord Jesus.
Yep.
And that's a self-sacrificial love that is poured out upon us, and then we in turn share that love
Absolutely.
with others as well too. There are so many critics about people that are incarcerated, and of course they're going to have a conversion because they're at their and it's like, and we want people to have a conversion to experience Jesus Christ here and now, so that their eternity they will understand the definite and the depths of love of God and His mercy.
Yeah. Well, and as I tell people, there's bad people in prisons.
Yes.
There are bad people. The ones we're dealing with are not, they're not coming out of the cell blocks. They're coming out of the dormitories.
Right.
They've changed. I'm not the same person I was, 30 years ago.
That's right.
So these guys and ladies aren't either. They've changed. They've matured, and gotten why. They go to schools. I mean, they got tons of vocational programs there. They got university programs through Ashland University. They got all kinds of things they can do. So they're doing things. And they're trying to make changes so that when they get that opportunity to get out, they
and I think an important role we play is to model what it looks like to have a very healthy community based on our faith. Come in there and show them these are the kind of things we do.
Right.
And everything we do in a retreat or a fellowship meeting that we have with them is really to give them tools in order for them to then go in and change their own community and start to be leaders. Maybe they will start a rosary group together. And we have actually seen that at the women's prison, where we have leaders who have come out of the Kolbe retreats who have become team members on future Kolbe retreats there, the inside team members that work with us, outside team members to host a retreat. We've seen them become leaders in rosary sessions or prayer sessions, Bible studies. And what we can do is offer materials. We can show them what we do on the outside, and it gives them tools that when some are released back into our communities, they have those tools and know where to go.
Yeah, they're already ready. They're empowered.
They have the tools. They have a support system. Which is huge.
Yeah, so Kolbe Prison Ministry Retreat is not just one and done. Like, you don't just pull out and never show up.
We go back to Hunt. The men go back to Hunt every Wednesday for faith sharing and every Friday for Mass. When I first, I guess it would be June of 24, when I first started going to Mass at Hunt, you'd have 35, 40 men show up for Mass. And maybe 15, maybe 20 on a good day would participate in communion. This past Friday, we had 63 men in there, of which 60 went and took communion.
Really? Okay, that is
amazing,
powerful.
So the Catholic community has really gotten in big. They actually have a Catholic men's club at Hunt, and they meet quarterly. This past quarter, back in June, last meeting, we went in, we sponsored the meeting, so we provided a meal. We had Father Todd Lloyd come in and give a talk on spiritual warfare for them.
Yes, wow. And I'm hearing that too, that you're empowering those that are incarcerated for them to be sent within where they are in that community of the institution that they serve.
Absolutely.
How do people within the institution get chosen or called to be able to participate in Kolbe? Is there a waiting list? Do they request
Sometimes
it?
they do request it. I think it's just like us on the outside and doing Acts retreats or other Catholic type retreats. You see the fruits of the retreat and they see the change in those people. And they say, I want to be a part of that. I want what they have.
Absolutely. Well, and traditionally in a Catholic retreat, we talk about we're at the control of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
Well, in a prison retreat, you're at the control of the Holy Spirit, but also DOC. They've got guidelines they have to follow.
That's
and
right.
They can't diverge off of them for this. So you kind of intertwine there. People can volunteer. We can get names from family members. Hey, I've got I've heard about y'all. I've got a son that's there. Can you get him on the? So make up a retreat list. It has to go to then, goes to the chaplain, who either says he has the ability to scratch or no, and then it goes to the warden for final sign off, and they can get scratched. They don't want troublemakers.
That's
they don't want
right.
people that slacking or something.
Yeah.
So they choose, and
The chaplains and the deacons too that work within the organization really are very helpful in deciding who can attend. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful.
But the ones who have gone before are the biggest,
Yeah.
Right, because they
recruiters.
know the people.
Well,
Yeah,
they know
that
the
are
people,
within.
but
They
as Lynette
see
said,
them change.
others see them. And it's like,
Yeah.
man,
What's
I want what they
the
have.
difference?
what happened to you?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I encountered Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
we had one of our volunteers was at a little store, convenience store there in San Gabriel, and he happened to have a Kolbe shirt on, and one of the correctional officers was there just getting a Coke, and he saw him. He says, "Man, y'all are making a difference at Hunt."
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
And that's
Wow.
that just
yeah, I got chills. I just have chills.
Absolutely.
What if someone who's watching this feels called to volunteer? What steps would they need to take to be able to volunteer for this? Where should they start?
I think the first step is the hardest. And I would say in my journey, it was very hard for me to make that first step, but do it. If you're feeling at all called, do it. God will qualify the called. And I promise you that will happen. But they can go to our website.
Okay.
It's kolbebatonrouge.org. And Kolbe is Kolbe, batonrouge.org. And they
One
can,
word.
Yep. And they can sign up to be on our email list, and we can reach them that way. They will get all the communication from us. And you don't have to necessarily be ready to go into a facility yet.
Okay.
We have a lot of things they can do to support our team in the background, organizing events, helping with fundraising. We provide all the foods. Everything that goes into a retreat, we bring that in with us.
Yeah.
So we have big groups of people that will cook a meal for 100 people.
Yeah.
We have sweet treats that we donate, hygiene bags that you can come help put together,
Yeah.
and fellowship with us that have done prison ministry and learn from us. There's
yeah.
lots of ways.
On the website, there's a volunteer button. Just click on that and fill out the form, and
Okay.
somebody will reach out to you.
Gosh, this has been such an inspiring kind of half hour for us to be able to, if anyone is interested in learning any more about it, again, it's kolbebatonrouge.org, KOLBE batonrouge.org. Thank you so much for what you do and serving those
Thank
that
you.
are
Thank
incarcerated and helping people encounter Jesus Christ. It is the epitome of evangelization. So I honor and admire both of you and all of those that volunteer.
As
It's
Jesus
not
said,
us.
what you did for the least of these, you did for me.
Amen. That is completely it too. Thank you so much for being with us, Lynette and Val.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to meet you and see you again. And we'll look forward to having you again soon on Catholic Live to kind of give us more updates.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Dina.
Until next time, may God bless you and grant you his peace.